joined now by Marc Hamilton, the head coach of the King City Royals, runner-up in the Under-16 Girls Ontario Cup Championship. Marc, thanks very much for joining us. Heartbreaking game, but fantastic to watch. Back and forth in the first half, flurry of goals. Just from a coach's perspective, what's it like to be going through that sort of roller coaster of emotions as your team's going up and down at that moment?
I gotta be honest, it's not fantastic, but I mean I couldn't be proud of our girls. I mean it was a back and forth match. Our girls never gave up though. They tried to execute a game plan that we put into play pretty much since the beginning of the season. Again, it was just a game of inches that we were just on the wrong side of.
So just give us your thoughts on as the game progressed for your squad. You went up, you held the lead for a little bit. Ketchener came back and eventually took the lead. Just sort of walk us through the emotions, or walk us through sort of the game and some of your strategies throughout.
Well, I guess just simply the timing of this finals is towards the end of the season. So we had a few players, key players, who kind of went in there somewhat injured, not to make excuses, but to try to get the most out of them in their current situation. And I mean, they did what they did what they could under those circumstances, and I was very proud of the few players who kind of sucked it up and played. Again, roller coaster back and forth. And I guess you just got to turn the page and move on.
Yeah, it's difficult in a competition like this. It's such a razor's edge. It goes on for months at a time, and any turn of play can sort of impact your going out. Just talk us through your journey in the Ontario Cup. I've been through a number of stages already, and just walk us through what it was like for your squad.
It was a great experience. This is actually the second time we've been in the finals, and unfortunately, the second time we've been on the wrong end of things. The way I put it to the girls is just a learning experience. The journey from the very beginning. I mean, we're a very technical-minded team, very tactical team. Great work ethic, great attitude. Had a fairly consistent season where we're currently at the top of the league, and with a game left, that we got to close out the league. So again, just a great journey. I think the girls will learn from it. They probably won't see it for the first day or two. Probably still licking the wounds a little bit. But in the end, I think it'll be a great learning experience. And next year we'll be back.
It's difficult for a team to go through that kind of emotions on a day like this. What did you say to them afterwards in the locker room to sort of calm their hearts?
I just let them know that the conversation we had at the beginning of the game was that just leave there with no regrets. We don't want to think woulda, coulda, shoulda. And I truly believe, and I think they believe, based on the conversation we had, that they did leave everything out there. I mean, there was at no point was I starting to question, their desire, their passion for winning that match. It was just a very tough, heartbreaking loss, as you put it.
You can talk a little bit about your opponents on the day as well. A couple interesting plays, sort of questionable calls maybe, or that one goal in particular sort of had everybody wondering what had happened. Walk us through what you saw, and also just give us your take on your opponents today.
I mean, if you're referring to the second goal, which happened right at the beginning of the half, I mean, the player, I believe her name is Isabella. I've seen her play a few times. She's a fantastic player. Unfortunately, you start a half, you got to make sure you're razor sharp, and her girls kind of gave her too much space. If you give her that space, she'll punish you, and then that's exactly what she did. So, my hats off to Kitchener. They're a great group. We've played them in the past, had some great matches. And again, that number, I believe number 8, Isabella, fantastic player. We just gave her a little bit too much space.
In the goal, did you believe it went in? There was some confusion in bar down. It looked like it maybe hit over the line. What was your take?
I do. I mean, it's one of those things where you have to wait and process it for a few minutes and go back through what you saw in the image, and it was definitely a goal. I mean, it's one of those things where you hope it's not, or maybe you hope the linesman's a little bit sleeping at the wheel. But I mean, when I looked at it, it was definitely a goal. Well taken goal.
So what's next for the squad? You're closing out the year. You've got one game left, refocusing onto league championships. What's next for your team?
Yeah, so I told the girls to take a couple days to kind of recharge and reset, and then we're going to get back in training. We've got one game left against a tough Whitby team. We're currently 2 points behind Ottawa South, and if we win this game, we win the league. So fortunately, destiny's in our own hands, and I've just explained to the girl, take the time you need, but then once we start training late next week, we got to get right back at it.
Awesome. That's Marc Hamilton, head coach of the King City Royals, runner-up in the Under-16 Girls Ontario Cup. Congratulations on getting here. It was a terrific performance today.
Thank you.